like I need a pillow behind me.
Oh, we're live. Well, hello to you too.
Well, hello. There you go.
Well, there you go. I had to do something. But anyways, welcome back, y'all. This is another episode of the Soapbox Social Podcast. And today we are talking about circumstantial blindness. Just a just a little bit. Um, and what I mean by circumstantial blindness is so there was multiple instances that just happened of circumstantial blindness, I feel, which I'm passionate about, I guess. So you have the John Morant incident with multiple times of flashing the gun and people trying to enable that and acting like that's not a big deal and not understanding why people are scratching their heads on why that is a repetitive thing after being reprimanded. Um, that's the biggest thing. Well, that's the biggest real world thing. And then everybody was like, the controversy on um, if it was right or wrong for Franklin and Snowfall to feel how he felt and all of that. So yeah.
Okay.
So, hold on, because it's gonna bug me.
Sounds like a good topic.
Sounds like a good topic. Hopefully, there you go. So, um, within knowing the topic now, because I didn't tell you, because I didn't want you racking your brain about it and creating a million different things that wasn't things. How what pops into your mind when you hear circumstantial blindness? And then I'll explain in more in depth on what I'm meaning by that.
Well, what just popped in my head is just something that is like in your face to where you look all around it, but it's just right there in your face, and you try to, I guess, not see it. And that's basically what popped in my head.
Okay, makes sense. So when I say circumstantial blindness, so in both instances that I had highlighted and said that, I mean, is why I'm passionate about it. So with the Snowfall, selling drugs and the family, of course, at the time of it beginning and him getting into that life, people said things, but it was a soft speaking, and it was like, well, all right, until they started to see the money that was brought in. So then that money was like, well, all right, I see it, but I don't see it. And then also within the John Morant incident, it's like, all right, we know he shouldn't be waving a gun around on IG, and he could possibly mess up his life and his stature right now in life. But I'm benefiting from his ignorance, because if I say something, I might be cut off and he might not do for it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, I mean, we have a real life incident where we've seen multiple times of watching a person. I mean, I guess I can call it self-destruct, but I mean, we touched on the self-destruction before, and just we didn't talk about when everybody was benefiting from such thing and never speaking up. It's easy to speak when a person's on their down or in their downward, not even on their downward, in their downward.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to be like, well, I was telling you not to do that, XYZ, or oh, you knew you shouldn't have been doing that. But no one speaks up in time when they're benefiting off of the possible demise of a person.
Right.
You know where I'm going with that?
Yep.
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 Do you
But
have
no,
anything
yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like you said, we spoke on it before, and I'm just trying to get to the question of why isn't it being like directed, or why are people like afraid to step in before, you know, things seem to go downhill, or knowing that they will go downhill just because, as far as consequences and things of that nature. But I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know. Like I say, blind can just keep you quiet too, I guess. So keep you from not.
that? I guess it's us trying to. I guess it would be. It wouldn't. I guess it is selfishness, but is it us trying to understand how you seeing it, you can remain selfish because it's just like, all right, well, I'm benefiting from it. Just keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's been instances, maybe in the past, or yeah, I'm just somewhat in the past to where I spoke up on a couple of things, towards people I cared for, and it's like that's in one ear and out the other, because I guess they want to look good for everybody else, or want everybody else to see a different picture than what I'm actually seeing behind the scenes, and in front of the scenes, being side by side in the situation. But
Look at you speaking on it,
it's
because I was gonna bring up because I was gonna bring it up because a lot of the times when a person's in like a spiral or they're self-destructing, sometimes they know, but a lot of times they don't. They aren't cognizant of when it starts, and they haven't figured out a way how to get out of it, if that makes sense.
yeah,
And that only popped into my head because everybody has their things that they struggle with and the things that they don't see in the moment, or it catches them off guard.
hmm
Um, and I was just like, dang, I was like, it's amazing how a person could be falling apart in front of somebody's eyes, and no one notices if they're not intimately like close to them, like have a relationship with them to understand, because a person can hide it so well. Um, and people only see what is presented to them, right?
yeah.
And so unless you truly understand like the signs of what it looks like when a person's falling apart.
But so listen to this. So if someone's putting on this fake facade, 'cause some people's stuff is just out there, and some are just, that fake it till you make it fake facade, where no, this is it. This is what it's supposed to look like. Or even though they killing themselves that way too, but you know they don't want to see it. Sometimes they're just blind to it themselves. They don't want to see it no other way.
Yeah.
So
So
so no, I'm just saying, it could just be, people will hurt themselves. And yes, it'll be best if somebody can speak up and say something if they see something that that person doesn't see. But it's up to that person to want to take that, to want to take that advice, or take that, you
yeah, no.
know
So don't get me wrong. Like a lot of times you do have people that do speak up, but it's never the person that has a person's ear. Does that make sense? It's never
right.
the person that is always in close proximity and leads that person into doing the things that they know they shouldn't do, or enables those things, or complicit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So like I don't know, because it's easy to be like, oh, you got to choose the proper people to be around, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But
Mm.
you never know the proper, if you have the improper people around you until you are shown or in a moment of doing something improper.
Mhm.
Granted, you know what's improper and what's not, but everyone treads that line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's all I was thinking on my head as far as that, because I know we were supposed to talk about all of this when it was hot, and yeah, I mean, but whatever, because I had
Yeah.
other things I wanted to talk about. And like I had said, which I posted about it and all of that, I strongly felt like everybody that was like jumping down John Moran's throat about what he was doing, I really felt like we should have just got on his father, because it's like, why aren't you doing anything? Like, yeah, I mean, why
Yeah.
aren't you speaking to your son and you being a father that you are supposed to be, but you sitting here can be seen courtside, et cetera, and living off of your son's likeness. But when it's time to protect your son's image and protect your son's sanity from what he's basically going through, you just mum to it, and you're doing nothing.
Yeah. But that goes back to the same thing that, you know, our older people you say, or whoever, just it starts at home, right? But like you say, when it come to fame and cloud and public recognition and all that, oh no, they not gonna say a thing. And now they might say things behind closed doors, but who knows who's gonna hear that? But when somebody is publicly like recognized for their flaws or whatever situation happens in the public eye, that's when a parent should pull their kid or child to the side and speak up for that, not for the child, but put that on front, put that on front street, put that on blast, to where no, he's gonna, or she's gonna do this or do that, or still have that authority as far as your parental authority, because a child is never too old. And of course everybody's gonna make stupid choices or try to be with the world and show off, but
Mm-hmm.
you still got to go back to the morals, like where are the morals of it all? So that's how I look at it.
That's how you look at it.
That's how I see it. That's how
Anyways,
I see it.
off of that, how has things been from the last pod unto now, if that makes sense? Like, has there been anything that has like spoken to you or like been on your mind since the last pod?
Well, as far as things spoken to me, I just like to thank God for all the experiences I've had since our last pod. I want to tell too much of my information, but I've met some beautiful angels, and they basically, these were not of our like people. These were of other, color and creeds. But not saying that, nothing racist, but
Time out, dog. Hold on. Nah, cause I'm over here like where is she going with this? All
I
right,
mean, I
they
can
were of
be
a different culture and a different race. Okay.
a different race, but I'm just saying, um, it's just it was cool just being around other people other than people like me, and just feeling the love of me being someone they never met, and it was just different. I've had, like I was explaining to you, I was just like, have you ever met someone and or people, and like you don't know them from a can of paint, but then they'll tell you, you know what, I love you, thank you. You know what I'm saying? That word, you got to use it genuinely in certain moments, but the way they expressed it to me, it was just like real genuine, and just treated me well, just like such. You know, in return, but
You know, how did it make you feel? Honestly, how did it make you feel?
it just made me feel like everybody's not as cruel and fake as I thought they were. I don't care the skin color at all. But it's just, yeah, it just showed me some realness, like God was in the presence. I'll just say it like that. He was in the presence at that time. And yeah, that's what I felt. And what
And
about
yeah,
you since our last
since our
episode?
last pod, the week, well, yeah, the following week, so starting from that day to Monday, yeah, was going real good.
Mhm.
And then I'm there for whoever is, what I mean,
Mhm.
within my passion project, put it like that. And I offer a listening ear and a place to like vent to and confide in, um,
Mhm.
talk things out. And so what was talked about, I was like, oh, okay, I was listening, I was there, and um, I was like, oh yeah, I thought I washed my hands with it, and of course, like afterwards, I felt like I was like, well, all right, I'm sad for said person. It's unfortunate they going through that. Yeah, I mean,
So you feel empathetic, uh-huh.
so then, I don't know. I felt like what was being said and what I was understanding that he was going through, what it was and all of that, and I just kept playing it through my head because I was like, it sounds so familiar. It sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. To
Mhm.
where it really left me in a place of feeling hollow because I started to relive like emotions that I was living through when I wasn't verbalizing and talking about my situation, which I won't talk about it for
Mhm.
real. But so then, like, I guess you can say I fell into depression, but I really was like not good after that. So up until, so put it like this. So from Thursday, the Thursday after the pod to Thursday just passed, I think that was just playing on my mind. And I was just like, dang, I thought I was past that. I thought like XYZ, which I was past it. It just was the fact of me having to rethink about that and feeling that again and internalize that. Because I'm like, all right, that's what he's going through. But it's like I can't voice that to him
Mhm.
now because he won't see it. But he'll eventually see it. And I'll be there for him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, because you know what, just
That's
to,
good.
I mean, because you you said what you said, and that's how you meant it, But even with that, like some things will come around in your life, regardless of if you've already dealt with it, right?
Hmm.
And say, for instance, you're like, okay, I healed from XYZ, right? But if it comes around another way through another person and you have to open back up that wound, I'm not gonna say the wound was bad or hurt, it could be whatever the wound was, but and it come back
Next, so
around.
I guess it was just a thing of, I don't know. In a way, it made me feel like I just buried it and didn't deal with it.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I know I had like identified and understood what I had went through and all of that other stuff, and I was just like, all right, well, and I released that. So I guess it was just the fact of like me seeing and knowing what he was going through, but him not grasping it. So I was just like, dang, he don't even see it. So I think that really shook me up initially. So then afterwards, I just kept thinking about the many different ways of the ways I didn't see it in real time. And so I think that's what caused me to eventually spiral on that mentally.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, like me, like what I deal with other people as well, and sometimes you don't even expect certain things or conversations to come your way, and then you don't know how you're gonna accept them. Either you'll be fine when you hear it, but later on, if it's pondering in your mind, you're just thinking like, what could I've, what could I've, what would I should have said or could have said, or but then that's when we take on the, I'm not gonna call it so much a burden, but we take up on the emotion because it's familiar. You know what I mean? So, but it just, it takes a toll on your own type energy because you have feelings. You know what I'm saying? And you don't, just like me, I don't want other people's feelings to hurt, especially if I've been in that hurt state before too. I'm gonna just put it like that. Feelings are relevant, right? So you don't want anybody else to feel what you've already been through or similar like things that you've been through. So, but yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But nah, so yeah, no, that's what I guess the 2 weeks have been for me. But outside of that, it was pretty cool. What? I don't even remember what I was gonna say. But anyways.
Yeah. But yeah,
I really can't get that out of my head. But what?
You can't get what out your head? Me this morning?
Yeah, trust me, you don't want me to do it.
Whatever.
What was you about to say
I don't know what I was about to say. I kind of forgot. But yeah, it's just, the days have been real interesting up to this point. And just trying to free my mind of things, of, you know, just so it can be kind of open, even though you said I sound morbid earlier, but I
Nah,
just
you
be trying
definitely
to, I
did. You
just be
definitely
trying to like clear my mind and I have like things on it, like, so I won't have to worry or, you know, be stressed or, so I probably just like, okay.
True. Hey, truth be told, I don't even remember what you said. I just remember the tone of the voice, and I was like, "Oh wow, uh, sounded like
Yeah, I
Batman."
remember what I said, but I'm not repeating it.
Talk about it. Come on, we can talk about it.
No, I can't remember. No.
Now
What
you
was it? I said, oh, I can't remember how I put it though. It was about something like, do you gotta look successful to be successful?
Oh, okay, I remember now. So you was talking about you wanted to talk about um, what success doesn't look like.
Mm, yeah, but you
That
gotta say it
that
like I
was
said
your
it. Can you say it like I said it? Say how I said it for the people.
Would you like to talk about what success doesn't look like? I was like, dang, what's going on this morning? Because it had caught me off guard, and you tried to explain that your neck was scratched up. Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
I was in an awkward position. But yeah, it's just,
What
it's
what
just,
what what does success not look like to you? We can talk about it.
well, success doesn't look like to me, you got to have all this fancy stuff. I've been there, done that, and that was just by the choice of what somebody wanted me to have. But I'm just, I can have the BMWs, the Benzes, and all that. I can have this and that and da. If I wanted that type material stuff, you know what I'm saying? But as far as my eye and a person being successful, I don't see them with all that, and it's just like, I think they look and feel more comfortable instead of having to worry about, oh, somebody's gonna rob me, somebody's gonna, hate on me, or I mean, things of that nature. But I just feel like, all that stuff, it's kind of messing up. Go back to the world today. It's kind of mentally messing up like the youth and the people in my age, and there's even some older folks, but it's kind of messing up the view of what it's supposed to look like, and people are striving and killing and doing all these things just to have that, and that stuff don't last long. All that stuff don't last long. It can get taken away, and anything get taken away, but I don't know. We need to bring the world back to just not looking at it for the fancy, flashy, flamboyant things, because that's
But you
what's being
answering my
portrayed.
questions. Answering my
Huh?
questions without me having to ask it. So, because at first I was trying to understand where we was going with it. Because I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
ask you, well, what does success look like for you personally? But you brought me in. So
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about on the thing of the flash causing for people to be targets and
Mm-hmm.
XYZ, and then within
Mm-hmm.
people displaying
Mm-hmm.
status and or perceived wanting to be perceived status,
Mm-hmm.
the threats that they don't understand that they bring upon themselves, and then the complaints of the taking. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Yep.
Let's see where we're going. Where we going? So, because now I can't even say in the '90s and the '80s, because then if you listen to, you could drive back to rap, because back then in the '90s you wouldn't see people with the flashy unless they was just clicked out with
Mm-hmm.
masses of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um. But no, I get where you're going.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I don't think I don't think we'll be able to stop that though, because you got what's on the other end of what we're speaking on right now, and people love speaking and showing for that right
But
now. So
and it also ties in that it starts at home too. Like, what are these people teaching
no,
their?
that's not true.
I
That's not
still
true.
say that because listen to this. I mean, I know, like, whoever have, mostly parents in the home or still around and stuff like that, or just good guardians, not so much trying to tell them how to live their life, but at least let them know what's important in life. That's all I'm trying to say. Have your fun and go out, be you, but don't try to blend in with what is just shown in your face. Look for the smaller things that where they matter most. Not so much, oh, okay, well, I gotta get this outfit by Tuesday, this Gucci outfit by Tuesday because I'm going out of town with my girls and I gotta look good to where you can
But
really just.
I think you understand that though within aging though, if you are afforded the time to age, because everybody goes through their loud period of life.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you about me. Even though I'm up there, I'm gonna say this. And yeah, like I say, I could have anything that I want, right? That's
Hmm.
anybody. But all as I grew and as I've matured to where I'm at now, I've never, and I'm gonna speak on it, I never would be like, okay, I'm doing this. Like I will go buy me a cheap little outfit and make that thing look like it came from wherever, but it's just like I never really all that stuff didn't fascinate me. Like I don't know. I mean, that's just who I am. I can't speak for everybody else and no everybody else ain't gonna want to run with that. It sounds so blah. But
Hmm.
when they mature, they gonna look back like, oh God, I spent all that for that, or I did this dirty job just to get that, or just different things. Like, why not wake up now and wait till later? Why not wake up now and wait till you the age I am? But since I've always been that way, it's like, I mean,
Ooh,
ooh
nah.
what? Ooh what?
Oh, so whenever I be in church, my mind be split whenever I'm in church, and
Mm-hmm,
the word that we received today and all of that. And
mm-hmm,
so what had popped into my mind, which we'll talk about on a whole nother different segment, because he was talking about weaknesses,
mm-hmm,
whether that's your sin or your obstacle in life. Um, and so I was sitting there thinking, because I was like, because people like to judge one another's sins or judge one another's vices, which I'm guilty of. I judge people's vices because it's just like I could not see myself XYZ, right? And so when I was sitting in there, I'm just like, um, the next person always sees another person's vice larger than said person compared to your vice, because you always see what you're dealing with, large or small, as massive, right? Which ties back to God using your weaknesses to show his strength and mightiness. So I hear what you're saying, but after like thinking that and all of that, I'm just like, you know what I mean? That's where my pullback from it is at. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm just like, yeah, granted, because I get what you're saying, because a lot of people do lose their lives over material things. And it's a lot of the times because a person values something more that a person shows and flaunts
Hmm.
more than the person that's wearing it, because they don't see it as a big deal. Granted, they want the people that they're wearing it for to see it as a big deal. That way they see and it validates them to amass a following.
That
But
too.
in retrospect, a lot of people, if a lot of people, a lot of the times that die behind material wouldn't die from material given the second chance. Does that make sense? Even though you got in today's culture,
Possibly.
even though
Possibly.
you got, even though you got people talk, even though you got in today's culture of people talking like, oh no, I'm going out behind mine. I ain't letting nobody take. All right, I bet you if it, I bet you if it was a way in this world to where that person would die and literally come back within that same moment. Hey, yo, you know what? I was just tripping. Next time, and they're gonna start tucking their stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
But because it's so many things that either are heightened or like made small that were great things that were said that it teach you back in the day. So of course you hear people say, or you hear in a song, uh, everybody will remember the person in front of the gun. So in today's society, you're larger when you die than when you like then rather than killing a person, right? You're memorialized.
Hmm.
So it's just like in a way it's sick because it's like I think people understand that, but they'll never be able to see it. It's the
Yeah.
it's the it's the Shakespeare effect, because
Hmm.
everyone didn't respect Shakespeare enough when he was here, but his word lives on and is larger than it ever could have been now that he's dead.
Hmm.
So it's, I guess, is that what you wanted to speak to? People wanting to live the Shakespearean effect?
I mean, if that's it, or the ripple effect, whatever you want to call it, type effect. I'm just speaking in
No,
general.
I say the Shakespearean effect because, for one, Shakespeare wasn't respected as a artist. You can say that he was a screenwriter, et cetera. But he wasn't respected as such. He didn't have the confidence to live as his true name. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's no clear distinction on who he actually is or was.
Hmm.
Which today the line is blurred between who said influencer or artist is today until
Yeah.
until either their demise or whenever their burden or their secrets are too heavy. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So so it's like not everyone's success is gonna look the same. Put it like that.
Right. You are absolutely right about that. But just don't get things misconstrued. Like you want things to like be in like for the long haul. Like if you want to be financially set for the long haul, right? Are you gonna just put all your money into? I'm just thinking hypothetically in just as the whole like a whole type of thing. Everything's gonna look different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's walk to success is gonna look different, be different. You know. But
But
it's still,
everybody's understanding of success is different. A lot of people's success is I want people to see me. I don't care in which facet, which we can get into it because I always wanted to talk about this, which is
yeah,
what is selling out actually?
yeah,
What is selling out really look like? What is it actually?
yeah,
And at the end of the day, a lot of people just want eyes on them. They want people to display to them that I guess like, yo, yeah, you're living. You're like you're alive, I guess. Like they want to be acknowledged as more than just another moving entity on the earth that really doesn't matter in the blink of an eye. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Now
yeah,
the lengths that people go to get that validation, and sometimes it is mind-boggling and baffling, yeah.
mm-hmm,
But it leads you to really question, which I always play with this thought in my mind, like what is selling out really?
mm-hmm,
Because at the end of the day, everybody has a bottom line of what they will live without and what they won't live without, you know?
yeah, yeah,
And so a lot of the times, which I feel like I had alluded to when I had talked about, no, I didn't talk to you about that. I was talking to somebody else. So when I was talking about me doing the stand up and getting on the stage, and I don't know, when I after like analyzing it, because I always analyze after I do things. So after analyzing it, I was like, yo, there's a block. Like there's a block within where I'm willing to take it as far as being vulnerable or whatever, not on the stage. Which it was funny because I was like, yo, if this was like me in like high school or whatever, not or fresh out of high school, I don't think I would have those same blocks because I was I wasn't cognizant of image or wanting to be seen in a respectable image. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
So it's like in that time, I didn't see those things as selling out, but now I would. I'm like, okay, that wasn't even like I did that with no beneficial gain. And it's
mm-hmm,
like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. You look at things different. Like I say, as you mature, as you know, like I say,
No,
it don't,
you understand why I say like it's hard to pinpoint because it's easy to say in the black community, oh, you sold out. But it's like, what is selling out really? And when I
yeah,
say when I'm saying this now, I'm asking like, yo, what is selling out to you in today's standpoint? Because truth be told, I'm pretty sure your today sellout, like your definition and understanding of what selling out is to you, will be different in about a year and a half from now.
yeah. So
And
you
I was
asking
asking
me,
a question too.
yeah, that's what I was like. So you asking me what what I think a sellout? What would be
Yeah.
considered a sellout? That's a good question because I don't mess with sellouts. No, let me stop. I just had to say that to clear the air. I don't even know what I just said, but sellout to me would be like just that goes back to that crab in the bucket for me. Like you gonna step on everybody's head just to get where you going. And who's to say how long that's gonna last? But you just sold out everything. You sold out the people that was with you. You sold out. You know, that's a sellout to me. I'm gonna
But now
just
keep
leave. I'm
going,
gonna leave
keep
that
going,
alone because
because
I don't even
I
want to
was
get
gonna
too
question
deep.
it. Nah, keep going, because I was gonna question something. You might as well keep going down that wormhole. Come on.
No, I'm just saying like, and then like sellout is like, say for instance, to me.
Now she want to pivot. She want to switch. Okay.
No, but I mean, I'm not switching. It's just like
Because he was going
selling
somewhere. You said
out.
selling out people. You selling out. Uh huh.
Yeah, you selling out folks. You are basically a sellout is selling out they sell too at the same token. Like what they'll really get down and do, regardless of what it is, just sell out. I mean, Leave people like kick dust, kick rocks up to the people, use them as stepping stones, sell out type, not in a good way, but in a
Hey,
bad way.
hey, now look, because it's easily perceived this way, and why it's easily a thing that can be alluded to, which is why there's a debate on why people ask, "Hey, are you Malcolm or are you Martin?"
Hmm.
Because Martin's cause, he's seen for the betterment of people, even through what the people at the time had to withstand and go through, right?
Hmm.
And so a lot of people then and now seeing that as a sellout, because most of the things that he really wanted to get achieved, he didn't get to see through, and we were just left with impartial. And so it's easy to be like, oh, well, he sold us out because we sputtered out and we didn't have the same vision or the infrastructure. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So so that's why I say it's weird. And that goalpost of a sellout is always gonna move, because
That takes me back to those three C's: the confidant, the I don't know if you remember this back at the church,
you gotta
but
fill me in.
dang, it was a confidant, a connoisseur. I don't even know if I'm saying the right words. And then it was a like basically the three types of people. Like you have that confidant that's there for you through whatever. Then you have that one that's there, but they want what it's something like that. I wish I would have brought that to with me somewhere. I got it wrote down, but we ain't about to run and get it. But it's just like that. Like you're not gonna sell out. Well, shoot, these days, oh my God, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna just say like, let's get off that topic because
Nah,
it's
nah,
it's
because
ridiculous to
what
me.
you do have the blatant people that by any means they'll cut off their arm to go, yeah, I mean, at another person's demise. Like I get that. But when I say a sellout, because people are easily like, oh, they sold out. But how can you say a person that only defaces themselves for their benefit is them selling out? For them going to the lengths at the once again we can tie it back to rather as demise in our eyes, but if they're comfortable with it, you get what I mean?
Is that a comfortable with for being for show, or we know
Hey,
for sure that they're
and
comfortable with it?
hey,
You get me?
it's funny though, because this is
Excuse
anytime
me.
that I talk to a person and they seek answers, so I'm not gonna give you an answer, but I'll say, hey, just make sure that you're able to go to sleep and wake up and look yourself in the mirror.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if that person can go to sleep in peace and wake up and look themselves in the mirror, who are we to say that they selling out if they're able to live in that and to see people eat off of them breaking themselves off?
I can't see. I can't really speak on that because I don't. I
You
don't know
couldn't do
about
it,
them.
I know.
I don't know about them.
But no, put it like this. All right. Single mother, you've made sacrifices. You can look at it through this lens. You made sacrifices, you went without, etc. Right?
Uh-huh.
And then you have, oh nah, let's take that step back. Another write that off the table. You have the air quote, since this is an argument that's gonna go on to the end of time, you have the traditional woman and who she was, which was a house homekeeper, a homemaker, right? And then you
Hmm.
have the modern woman who say, oh, I can't XYZ, won't, etc., because they see that as the valuing of self, or um what is it? Because they see it as them lowering themselves and etc. However you want to mock that up, right? So
Hmm.
they see the yesteryears as people that really just sold out to who they should have been, and they didn't chase things, and they didn't do, etc. Basically, the respect between those aren't the same. They can never see themselves in that role. Does that make sense?
A little bit, as far as like, so say for instance, selling out saying, oh, okay, me being, have been a single parent, what I didn't, like basically, are you saying like I didn't
No,
chase after?
hey, shoot it straight, because it's a lot of people that will be like, hey, I don't even see how you was in that situation of having kids. I just got rid of them, etc., etc. Like, yeah, I mean,
Got rid of the kids?
yeah. Hey, don't play like you don't know people that, yeah, I mean, that discard a child real quick, rather if they had them or before they was even about to have them. So it's
Well,
like everybody sees things different in between multiple lenses. Or people that have a child and be like, hey, you just going over your grandmother's house and I'll see you when I see you.
yeah, we'll see. Now that's different. Like, okay, well, everything that this body has done, I've had to take on the responsibility and the consequences. Not
Yeah.
saying that it was bad, not saying that I sold myself out.
Because anybody could be like, oh, well, you did that, and it can be said as a slice, like, oh, well, you sold yourself short since you chose to just parent rather than still alongside that chase your dreams. You know what I mean?
True, but at that same time, even say for instance, I ain't know what. You can have dreams, and the teacher asks you what you want to be when you grow up. I used to lie and tell them things that I knew I wasn't wanting to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like me in my head back then, and having, y'all at an early age or whatnot. No, well, you at an early age. I'm not gonna say y'all, but
Put it like
you at an
this. Put
early
it like
age.
this. It's because you. I'm not gonna say you don't desire, because everybody has desires, but
Hmm.
it's you don't want endlessly. Like you understand that you'll attain the things that you actually want. So you don't have a endless hunger of wants.
True, and like I've had desires. I've chased after a dream that I thought I really wanted to do. Am I doing it today? No. Um, so it's just like I don't even feel no type of ways about that, because I mean, yeah, I could have took more risk on certain things. Yeah, I could have. But I think I just, like that lane thing that I speak about a lot, I've always just stayed in my lane, my speed, and yeah. I mean, yeah, true enough, I could push myself harder, but I don't want to push myself harder into something that wasn't for me. And then how would I know if it wasn't for me if I didn't try it? Is because I always I look above, under, around, and all that, just see, okay, is that gonna be me?
But you
That's just me.
understand why I said, like, anything that another person would be like, oh, wow, never XYZ, can be seen as them seeing a person as selling themselves short and selling themselves out, and
Yeah,
how can
I
I put
mean,
it? Exploiting themselves.
yeah. I guess I
Yeah.
didn't want to exploit myself.
You still feel the same way, huh?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, cause see, like I said again, if I could go back, if I were or was able to go back and change some things, I don't even know what. I mean, take away all the bad stuff, yeah, or all the stuff that either happened to me or, but it happened to me for me. But anyway, either way it go, it was what it was. What was your daddy's favorite thing? It is what it is, and it's just like I'm here today. I am, people even stand. Okay, so listen to this. Okay, so when I had went to, even though I'm switching the subject, I had went to, what was the thing called Texas Roadhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a time. What? Oh wow. Okay. So anyway, and the young ladies in the front, I was with these two older, with the two older people that I was telling you about this past week,
Uh-huh.
and they said, "Are you old enough?" This is without makeup on, all this stuff. Are you old enough? I'm thinking like, well, who said I was going to drink? Like, is it because I'm short or But just saying, regardless of what I didn't choose then, I don't look at it as if I missed anything or if I've went about life the wrong way or choosing to take care of my children when I had to on my own or. But then again, it wasn't like I had y'all like as y'all got older, y'all were into things and sports and your grandparents and things of that nature. So it's just like I still was able to put stuff into me and start going for the college thing. But yeah, it's just like, okay, I just thank God for, I'm just giving him all the glory because I don't look like what I've been through. Not saying that my life was all easy and peaches and cream and oh, I just was, a homebody or a housemaker or because when I was a housemaker, I was the best darn house, whatever you want to call it.
Hey,
I,
but not
I
listen, because you're tiptoeing around it. So listen, the only reason why I'm saying that is because do you hear how you can say, hey, XYZ, and you've made qualms with it. You're okay, and you see things are on the up and up, and you understand your situation. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's easy for a person that don't understand the walk in XYZ of another person to be like, it look like that person's selling out or they exploiting themselves. You know what I mean? Or they're settling, because that's another thing that you know what I mean?
mhm.
It sounds like you understand it. You just don't want to say it. You
I
understand it.
mean, I understand it. So it's just basically like really never judge a book by its cover type deal because you don't know what sacrifices or what they chose to do to get them where they are or how they are or
Well, yeah,
you.
because the person that you see in public ain't the person that you see in private.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And that takes a whole nother spin. Whole nother spin.
So
That's
in
for
Texas
real.
Roadhouse,
Like,
they didn't ask you if you was old enough to eat the rolls at Texas Roadhouse, is what you said.
I mean, I guess I lived like a fun, young, ready to party, drink, yada yada. And I was like, and maybe because I was with somebody or, the two people that were well above age, like I ain't gonna put them out there, but they were well above age.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess because I was with these two people, they probably like, well, this got to be like somebody they brought from the neighborhood, a teenager they brought from the neighborhood, or something like that. But and that's judging, right? Okay, so anyway, so I was just like, well, no, and then I told them my age, and they were just like, I'm like, yeah, guys be good to me, but at the same time, it's just like don't automatically. And then okay, and then I'm gonna tell you about the other incident when I was at Go Chicken Go. It was like two women they was all cheese and smiling, and it was time for me to get to the window and place my order. It's like they whole mood just came down. I'm thinking like, keep that same cheerful energy. Like I like that. It was time to make my order. What's your order? And I'm thinking like all I did was step to the window and what's your problem? I really wanted to say that, but I was like, people really get that quick, like they
I'm
radar
laughing.
go off.
I'm laughing because my mother really has ADHD, and I understand where I get mine from. It makes sense.
Wow. I can't
This
stay
girl
in one area.
went from dog.
I'm just telling you how people really like they change up. Like that's another thing to sell out. Like we both the same kind, and I don't know. People just
Hey, hey, if that's the case, give me a suitcase or put me a for sale sign up in the front. Cause nah, I don't like being in the same area of ignorance. You can put that
that's
on
what
any
I'm
ingredient to
saying.
come.
Like I didn't understand it. Like I don't be understanding
She
people's
said, so now
whole.
you not understand what I'm saying. You said,
I don't understand.
cause you said we the same. Nah. If I see ignorance, I'll
Well,
hit me
they
a
was
line
over
real
my
quick.
food. They were over my food, and I didn't need that type stuff. Like it's like I said again. It's just like mm-mm. Your own kind
Mm-hmm.
will sell you out. Your
Mm.
own kind. I'm gonna just say it like that. Say it like that.
So
That's why
you're
I say
talking
I
about
can.
that. You're talking about a person that so when you say your understanding of a sellout is a person that exploits another person for their gain rather than self-exploitation.
What you mean exploit somebody else for their gain? I wasn't trying to gain anything but a wing pack. What are you talking? It
You
makes me
don't remember what
understand.
you don't remember what you just said? What did you just say? You said people will
Tell
sell
me.
their own people. People will sell their own people
Yeah,
out.
people will sell out like they own folks, like they own peeps, they own whoever you want to call it.
Translation, another word, and exploit and or discard another person for
So
their
when you
gain.
say exploit, make that be
Hey,
understood.
perfect example. You know how we had the era of and I'm fond of old language. You know how we had people exploiting the retarded people. You had Welvin, you had wide neck, you had
Okay, so you
that's
call that
exploitation.
exploiting. Okay, what if they did that to well, okay, yeah, they made them famous by exploiting them. But I'm not still get you saying that I exploited that
Oh,
person or
Jesus Christ. No, fool. You literally
help me understand.
your exact words. People will sell their own people out. And I'm saying, oh, you talking about exploiting people.
If
Exploiting,
if
selling
if
out is
that's
the
how
same thing.
you if that's how you understood what I was saying, then that's
I'm
you.
I'm trying to understand if that's what you mean because that's the example I'm using with the Welvin and all of the special people that has been exploited over the internet, sold out. Jesus Christ.
We getting out of there. That went over my head to where I don't even know where I'm at right now. Let's switch that off. But
All right, fool.
I'm just
Nah,
saying.
we gonna end it there.
We're gonna come back with exploitations, okay? So I can know what the heck. I know what it is, but it's just like that on I'm done.
Anyways, this has been another episode of the Soapbox Social. We'll see you guys in another 2 weeks from now. So, all right.
Thanks for joining.